Good evening, brothers and sisters. This is Brother Yachten coming to you from Brews Studio and News, Israelite Radio Network. Shalom. Hello, everyone. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in this evening. And would like to say I hope you are feeling good and doing good. And you are blessed up. Okay, saying that, I would like to say today's lesson is on the family of Israel, which I'm going to be reading out of First Ezra. And when I say the family of Israel, it's going to be about the nations, the 12 tribes, part of the nations that I'm going to read about in First Ezra, chapter 9, verse 37 through 40. It'll be First Ezra, chapter 9, verse 37 through 40. And I'm going to read this verse and talk a little bit. Couple verses. And I'm going to start up top. And it says, "And the priests and the Levites, and they that were of Israel, dwelt in Jerusalem, and in the country in the first day of the 7th month. So the children of Israel were in the habitations, and the whole multitude came together with one accord into the broad place of the holy porch toward the east. And they spoke unto Ezra and the priest and the reader, that he would bring the law of Moses, that was given of the Lord God of Israel. So Ezra, the chief priest, brought the law unto the whole multitude, from man to woman, and to all the priests, to hear the law in the first day of the 7th month." Now, I would like to say that, talk about that a little bit, and the purpose of these verses I read, that is about the children of Israel, back in the day, how Ezra brought them together to preach the word of Moses, the law, and which the law was to teach them, how to be with their brothers and sisters, and brought them together on one accord, like it says. Now, and they came together, and everything was sacred and holy, and everything was about the Most High, and that's what Ezra was doing, the will of the Father. So he was bringing them together like we should do today, and that is the purpose of me reading this. I see a lot of videos out here and on YouTube and other platforms, and I see the children of Israel out here arguing and not getting along and beefing and having opinions about this group, that group, and arguing over the truth, who's right, who's wrong, and I just want to say that, far as my outlook on that, I think all the bickering and arguing should not be, because we need to come back together on one accord. And we need to learn this truth together. And if someone do not get along, they need to just, like back up and stop the arguing and hating one another, not getting along, because, as you can see it, yeah, our forefathers disobeyed, and they did not want to follow the laws, statutes, commandments, and the Most High, and that's why they had to suffer, past, present, and future, until today. Our people are suffering due to disobedience. Now, but we are supposed to be together, but Israel is a stiff-necked people. They don't want to get along. And because, well, one reason there's a lot of egos involved, and one person think they know more than the rest. But I think, you know, everybody should get along. By me speaking this in this lesson, I know that people probably won't get along, because how people are today and how their spirit is, and it's just not good. I'm not saying that I'm better than my fellow brothers and sisters because I'm not. I'm just the same. But my spirit in me um, won't let me treat my brother or my sister bad, out here because that's just not me. I treat everybody how I want to be treated. So therefore, I just don't understand the purpose of the bickering, not getting along, not, you know, I can go on and on, but I just don't understand it. Why I got to be like this? Because if the children of Israel would come together on one accord and do the will of the Father, follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, because at the end of the day, that's really what it's about: following the laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, following the laws, statutes, and commandments, that right there, you should get along with your fellow brothers and sisters, because each group out there, no matter if they're in the streets, they're inside of a building, no matter where they're at, most of the groups follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Most of them. Probably all of them, but a few. So, following the laws, statutes, and commandments, everyone should get along, because that's what it's about, getting along, because the Most High wants us to get along. And if we get along, you know, the Spirit will have peace, and the Most High will see that, and He will be happy with His children because they're getting along like any parent. So, saying that, I would just like to say, that's just how I see it, getting along with your fellow brothers and sisters. Like First Ezra chapter 9, 37 through 40, what I just read. They got along back then because Ezra was the chief priest back then. He was appointed by the Most High. And when you are appointed by the Most High, you're going to get along because you have someone over you. And we don't have that today. And that's why we have the bickering. Because this generation today, the verse, I don't remember off the top of my head, but it says, this is the foolish generation. The end times, there will be a foolish generation. And being a foolish generation, this is how you're going to act. You know what I'm saying? But, that's just my opinion, how I see it. I would love to communicate, talk to more brothers and sisters about this word, getting along. And each brother and sisters can reach out to the next one, and come back together as a nation and get along and preach this word and spread this word, and possibly looking up. Our Father is standing there looking down on us, and He's happy, and He's gonna just lift us up for everlasting life in His kingdom, like prophecy says, and how He created it to be, without sin. And saying that, I would like to say, thank everyone for tuning in and listening. Shalom.